I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replied to. Another day.
Yo, what's going on? I go by the name of Bison Briggz. This is the Premier Battles podcast. Just something we're going to run while we are all in lockdown and we're running out of battle footage to put out. So we're sort of scraping the battle with this one, aren't we, Major?
Ha ha ha, fucking dickhead. What's going on? Major concerns.
No, we've got.
How you doing, man? Are you good?
Yeah, very good, mate. Well, trying to be. It's a bit of an absolute mad time in the world, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, it's crazy for everyone, man. It's just so tough on people, honestly. I do feel for kind of everyone who's kind of in the situation. I know I'm in the same situation, but I do feel for people who are a bit worse off than me, do you know what I mean? It's tough times, man.
Yeah, mate. Are you keeping yourself busy? Are you doing anything different, or...?
Not really doing anything different, man. Like I said, I'm working from home in it, so most of my days are spent working anyway, and then weekends are a bit different because obviously I'm used to just like kind of being in the office and then weekends just getting to chill and that. So It's kind of finding the balance between like working and kind of just chilling, I guess. But yeah, it's going all right, man. Can't complain.
Have you been watching any sort of battle rap at all?
What was the last battle I watched? I've been watching loads of. Do you remember Juan?
Yeah.
Like Juan, yeah, bro. I've watched literally his back catalogue in the last 2 days. That guy was so fucking good. Like,
yeah,
so good.
I think the Chris Lee's battle sort of put him off battle rap for a bit.
Oh, really?
Because he quit after that battle, like said he wanted time out. But if you actually watch all his battles, I don't think he ever battled anyone that was so intent in his face like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's true. But like him versus Soljitsu was amazing.
Yeah.
What else did I watch? Him versus Uno Lavos. That battle is brutal. Just no words for that one. That is very, very brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just really, really good, wasn't he? And I just think like, God, like I didn't really know where he disappeared to, but that Chris Lee situation kind of obviously makes sense a little bit.
I don't even know if it was the Chris Lee's thing, but that was the battle that sort of shouted me a couple of days after and was like, I'm not really enjoying battle rap anymore, sort of thing. I'm gonna spend some.
That's fair enough, man.
I think he was in uni as well, so he'd probably just put his eggs in other baskets. But
yeah, I hear that.
Might actually give him a shout, see if he wants to come back.
Yeah, defo, man. I'd buy a ticket. I like him. I think he's a sick battle.
Yeah, he's class. But he's I've not watched. It's mad, isn't it? Because I was saying this to Bloodstraw and the other one. There's been 2 events that I can think of this year. There's been nothing, so everyone must be drying up footage. Like, I know we've got Sam Hypes and Tidal to drop Saturday.
Oh, that was a good battle. I remember being in the room for that. Yeah, that was a sick battle.
That's all we've got. That's the last battle we've got from sort of thing. So, and bear in mind, we've had an event this year. I know Don't Flop had the Crafty and Unon event.
Crafty won that, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, so they must have a bit of footage stacked up. But it's mad. It's gonna be, if this carries on longer, it's gonna get to a point where people are just gonna be battling over phones for a bit.
Yeah, legit. Like, I don't mind those little things. I think they're pretty cool. But literally now it's weird because there's not really been that many events. But I've literally found myself watching quite a bit more battle rap than I usually do. But I'll find a battler like I really like, and then I'll just literally watch just pretty much every one of the battles. Like I did it with one. I did it with Soul a few days ago as well. Like just Soul's earlier stuff. And I forgot he battled Purpose on Don't Flop, the Australian guy. Oh mate, he's so fucking sick in that. Like he's so sick. Yeah, and then he battled Osa on Blackout as well. That one doesn't really get talked about too much. He was sick against Osa. His third in that isn't mad.
I always thought
exactly.
Really underrated.
Yeah, dope battler. So that's what I do. Like I watched obviously him versus Bender as well. That was really good. But yeah, it's a bit weird. I think like back in the day before I actually battled myself, I used to watch way more battle rap.
Yeah.
Like I'd watch like every upload Don't Flop did, obviously at the time. Just every upload I'd just be like following everyone, knew kind of all the in like the stories and shit like that. It was just so good just being like a massive kind of part of this kind of mad community. And I just don't know. I don't feel like, obviously not even to do with the lockdown, but even before it just feels like that kind of just gone a little bit now.
I think it got to a certain point because I was the same. Once you get into it and you start progressing further in it, it does lose that novelty as a hobby. It becomes more of a chore to watch, I think.
Yeah, legit. Like I remember watching, like I've seen the Definition versus Pamphlet, Batman versus the Joker battle. I remember when Don't Flop did that. I've seen that battle so many fucking times, and I just remember showing it to everyone. Like everyone who had not heard of battle rap would be like, "Yo, you need to see this. You like the Batman, don't you? Like you like Batman? Just like, yo, look at this," and just like showing them people like, "Oh, that's fucking sick." That. And now, like I've never seen anything that's ever made me like in the last few years that's made me want to like link my friends to it. That's like, oh yeah, like look at it. Like none of my boys really watch battle rap in it. Like, they come into events and support me, but outside of watching me, and a few of them obviously know Dean through events and stuff.
Yeah.
So one of my best mates, like, he'll follow what Dean does, like watch his battles as well. But aside from me and him, like, he won't watch battle rap in it, and it's just one of them. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a growing up kind of thing. Like, you gotta remember, like, don't people say like the height of Don't Flop was what, like 2012? That's like what, like 8 years ago, man. Like 8 years. Like, people have just grown up. Like, maybe just people just aren't interested.
You've got to think as well. Obviously, we'll go into what you did in battle rap, but I think this is sort of important before that anyway, because you did come into this after the sort of post Don't Flop era, even though you were before that. So Don't Flop, before the Shotty and, well, go even further that, before the Lunar Seat sort of explosion, Mark Grist and Blizzard, Shotty versus Arsenal, they were like the three boom points of Don't Flop, which all seemed to happen within a space of like 18 months. So it just catapulted everything. But before that, you were buzzing if you got 20,000 views. Like, that was a big deal, you know what I mean? So it was weird because once nobody was in this for like being as big as you want. Like, the goal was 20,000 views and just be a part of Don't Flop. There was never any talks of money. There was never any talks of nonsense, and people did genuinely have grudge matches and beefs. And
it was settled. Yeah, that's mad. That you're right.
I think it got to a point where Don't Flop was steadily growing, and then it had a spike, and then another spike, and then another spike, which just catapulted it beyond where it should have been. And that wasn't just Don't Flop, that was battle rap as a whole as well. King of the Dot had, I can't remember off the top of my head, battles, but like they had a couple big boom points. Obviously, URL have been doing it for years anyway. But once we got to the top of that hill, the only way battle rap was going to go then was down. It was never going to steadily climb and continue to climb. So I think a lot of people who came in at that era, well, you know, people say like, oh, the 2013 Killer Crop and all that sort of shit. They were all good battlers. They came in at the right time when the views were high. But if they had come in a year earlier, I reckon the whole scene would have been a bit more appreciative of what we actually had before we went viral.
No, I absolutely hear. And I think that's what it is. Like, it came down to views, because I remember, like, obviously I wasn't about when Don't Flop first started. Like I said, I probably started watching, like, I don't know, maybe like 2010, 2011 maybe. But when I was obviously watching it, obviously, like, when I talk about like 2012 and stuff, I think that's when I went to my first event and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think just when I watched the earlier uploads, you're absolutely right. It was literally people just turning up and doing it for fun. And I think this is the issue. And I'm like I fall into that category of like only wanting to do it if it's fun. And for me, it's like not every battle. I don't want to battle everyone, because for me, it has to be fun now. Like, because let's be honest, no one's making a crazy amount of money off this anymore. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if it obviously starts to like pick back up again, and like I said, you've got to be really marketable, and that's just what it is. And I think like if there's certain battlers who are, do you know what I mean? There's certain battlers that could ask for, you know, a silly amount of money and probably get it based on obviously the name alone, but the majority of us obviously don't have that kind of, not even it factor, but it's just like being able to sell tickets, innit? Like, you might not be a ticket seller, but you can be on an event and people can come and like still want to come and watch you. But there's just people you buy a ticket for, isn't it? And I don't know, like I said, it's just kind of got to be fun. And you're right. Like, I think after it went viral, I think there was not like a lot of gimmicks, but I think it was just kind of look at a lot of events like, okay, how can we make this be bigger than the last one? How can we get 100K on this one? How can we get 1 million on this one? Do you know what I mean? And I think like Shotty Arsenal 2 falls into that, because Shotty Arsenal was obviously one of the biggest battles in the UK. Do you know what I mean? And then it happened on King of the Dot, and it wasn't as good, was it? Like,
did it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just wasn't as good. And I remember obviously speaking to Shotty about the private side of things about that. And, you know, he did very, very good off that battle. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, it's one of them. But yeah, you're right. I think before you went viral, it was just a lot more like people would just be coming to watch people just use mum jokes and stuff like that. And it just did turn into like, just like kind of everyone was just money motivated, I guess.
We've got to think about the time you had the Bloodstroll Lunar, well, not even Bloodstroll Lunar, the Lunacy era. Mark Grist, Blizzard, Shotty Arsenal, they were all at the time when like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter was all at its bubbling peak for view count as well. Like, Unilad was just becoming a thing, And bear in mind, at that time, you had Sam Ridgway, who was running all the media pages for Don't Flop, and he was also...
Yeah, I spoke to Sam a little bit, actually. I used to speak to Sam a little bit.
So Sam understands the internet, so it was no sort of coincidence that Unilad blew up, and the guy who's making that happen was also running Don't Flop, and Don't Flop was blowing up stat-wise
Yeah, exactly.
at the same time. So I've seen a few, like the Rap is Full event, Broken Resolutions too?
Yeah, that was one with Saurus versus Nugget, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was
Saurus Nugget. I was reading a few posts on I can't remember what forum it was, might have been the Rap is Full or the UK Battle Rap one, and they were talking about the view count not being where it is because of the algorithms and like what they expected from it. And I think that, from my honest opinion, like take owner of Premier Battles aside, from my perspective, is if you're booking, this goes for us as well, like if you're booking Thesaurus, that doesn't mean you're going to get Thesaurus views.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think we learned that with Chilla, to be fair, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Chilla's a perfect example of that because, and this is no shade on Chilla because I've seen Chilla promoting the battles. When it first came out, he's promoting it. He shared the flyer when he was on Apex. Even now, when you mentioned, I think the other day, this hasn't got as many views as it should do, and he retweeted that, do you know what I mean? And he was promoting the battle, and I would never turn around and be like, Chilla didn't do enough, and that's why it didn't do 10K or something. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Just because you get a big name, it doesn't mean you're going to do those views, because I think the league has a lot to do with it. Do you know what I mean? I think if you're already uploading a big battler who people want to see on a league that already has, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, do you know what I mean? The battle's going to get watched, but I don't know, on a smaller league and that. But I mean, I guess sometimes it could pay off, do you know what I mean? But I mean, not always.
Well, it's one of them things as well, like what we have to understand, and this goes for every battle league. I mean, there's a few exceptions, like URL are always going to do ridiculous numbers.
Right.
King of the Dot do big numbers. Some of the battles probably don't do as well as some of the UK events. King of the Dot sort of in the middle. But when it comes to the UK scene at the minute, with ourselves, Don't Flop, Rap is Full, I'm classing Rap is Full as the UK. I'd say we're probably the top three leagues, aren't we? Then you've got No Loose Chat, haven't thrown an event yet, so you can't really categorise them.
Is that Rivers League?
No,
there's No Loose Chat.
Snoop, Tally, Paris. I think Rivers is something to do with it. I don't know what.
Okay, yeah, I know the league, with Paris involved. Yeah, I know the one, yeah.
Yeah, so they've not thrown an event, so I can't class them as a league yet. Really. Yeah. Garber's, I don't think, going anymore.
Oh, okay.
Who else have you got? Dub Scandal.
Dub Scandal, let's go, Dub.
Dub Scandal's sort of just a fun league, innit? Like, I love watching some Dub Scandal battles.
It's a fun league,
It is the fun league,
It's a fun league, Oh my god!
I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that in I don't go there looking for top view hitters, because I know the battles are probably going to struggle to hit 400 views, but there's some good battles on there. And then you go on
Have you been to a Dub event before?
I keep meaning.
Oh, bro. Oh, mate. It's honestly like, I have obviously a lot of, and this isn't like Dub Scandal's more fun than From Your Battles, do you know what I mean? It's nothing like that. Yeah, I have an equal amount of enjoyment at both events, but Dub has this vibe to it, and it's just, you can't explain it. It's just, and everyone's there just to see, a lot of the people, mainly me, is just there to see fucking car crashes. I want to see people choke. I want to hear awful bars, and that's what I love seeing, do you know what I mean? Like, I either want to see the shittest of the shit or the best of the best. That's basically how I look at it. I don't want to see guys be average or guys be all right. I either want to see them be fucking sick or just really, really bad, because I love both. But now, mate, when Dub throw an event, obviously when this is over, mate, we're all into that.
I think I've agreed 2 battles with Dub that both fell through, so I've just never sort of been.
Were you going to battle with Raptor on Dub?
Yeah, it was meant to be me and Raptor versus Maverick and Darper.
Yeah, oh shit, yeah.
I think there was another one. I think Milky offered me another battle. Oh, it might have been Conman. I can't remember. It was one of them. Yeah. But what I was trying to get at there is, we have to understand as a scene now as well, is by bringing over these big internationals, we're not on a platform enough where we can go, right, let's use Nugget and Thesaurus, for example. It's on 2.5K, I think.
Is that it, really?
Something like that, yeah. And I said this to Matt, before the event started. He was asking me about, what our pay-per-view numbers do and all this sort of stuff. So I'll give him a bit of advice, and I was like, what I would suggest is, if you're going to fly over all these internationals, don't expect a huge return on them, because the people you're putting them against are big in an island, but that is it. So
Yeah.
if you're hitting 2,000 views, you have to look at the fact that the channel's got less than 1,000 subscribers, and the Irish scene is quite small as a whole. Anyway, people
Yeah.
like Hades, Johnny Darko, I think are fucking sick. Like, I'm
Yeah, both
really
are
favorite
dope.
battlers, but they don't do views over in England on Premier Battles.
Yeah.
So they're going to do less views in Rap is Full because people in England are not watching them. So that means people in Canada or United States are not watching them. So it's
Yeah.
hard to, we need to find this balance again before things really start to pick up of who is actually valued where. So
Yeah.
what I was trying to say with this is like, there's no point me bringing over New Jersey Twerk, because when we did the Bobby Rex New Jersey Twerk thing, a lot of people were like, oh, it's fucking shit battle. In our eyes, it was like, right, it makes sense stylistically because
For
they're both
sure.
big, aggressive people who won't get bullied.
Yeah, definitely.
Bobby Rex gets views, New Jersey Twerk gets views. People in Canada are watching Bobby Rex. People in Canada are not watching so-and-so that people were recommending. Gets New Jersey Twerk because they've got a bit of a following in the UK. Because all they're going to bring to it is 1,000 views, whereas Bobby guaranteed to bring an extra 4 or 5 at least. So I think that's where we need to, if the UK is going to push through this bubble, we've got to start looking at where everyone sort of is. Does that make sense? Rather than just
definitely.
Bring him over because he's going to do massive numbers. We've, like I said, I'll just use the Rappers Full as an example. We've done that. We flew Lou Cypher over for Villain on match day 4 in the first season.
Yeah.
It was absolutely pointless.
Yeah.
And that's not because Lou Cypher's not good, but I think he's on less than 3,000 views. It was like, it's an international, but realistically, like, no one watched it. No one gave a shit.
Exactly. And I think that's where you've got to kind of have the two sides and kind of separate what you as a battler wants to see and what you think might make a better battle versus, okay, what's actually going to do better for the league as a whole. Like, don't get me wrong, stylistically, Villain versus Lou Cypher is a fucking great matchup, do you know what I mean? I don't think I've watched it back. I think I was in the room. I think it was pretty sick on the day. It was good. It was a good battle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good battle.
Yeah.
I think it was there. It was that Archaic and Dialect same event.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that event. Yeah, okay. So realistically, if Lou Cypher, fucking lived a train journey away, do you know what I mean? You won't blink your eyelids at booking that. It's like, all right, yeah, that's cool, let's book it. And obviously you did anyway, but you obviously had to fork out for obviously the plane, accommodation, all that kind of shit. And it's so hard because, like I said, it was a good battle, but was it worth kind of the money that was spent versus the actual return? And I think league owners have got it really hard because, like you said, since you've not even gone viral, but I don't know, kind of the climate that we're in, you kind of do want to get views in it, and it's not like it was fucking like 09, 010 again, where it's just like, oh, okay, let's just fucking book these grudge matches, let's book these amazing battles, let's book what's going to give us views, really. So it's very hard to find a good battle that's also going to do, obviously, views as well. So
that's where the balance of that comes in now, because
exactly.
as promoters, you've got to make money now because everyone wants to be paid, travel has to be paid, accommodation for battlers, like, there's no way I can throw an event now unless it's a small event and not pay nobody. But if I throw a small event and not pay nobody, I've then got to charge a $5 or it's a free entry where I'm making 50 quid anyway. Like, pointless. So there is a balancing act that I think the whole scene needs. And maybe that's where the fun, because like looping back to the start of the conversation was like not watching battles anymore because the fun's not there. I think that's what we need to sort of bring back.
I think as well for me, it's like not even because of watching battles. Like I'm probably not every week, but do you know what I mean? If there was an event every 2 weeks or whatever, and it was local, I would probably go to it because I like the atmosphere. I like going, having a few drinks and that, and just watching the battles in it. Like it's a laugh. You get to see people that you're mates with that obviously you might not see like on your day to day, but you see at events and that you'll chill all day and that you'll go out at night. Do you know what I mean? So it's a sick day. Whereas I don't know that. Compared to just kind of watching it on YouTube, I don't know. I just don't really get kind of that same kind of like fun value out of it anymore, that same kind of entertainment value watching it at home, unless I know I've already seen the battle before and I know that it's amazing. But like the Academy, like I'm excited for the Academy, do you know what I mean? Like I'll be there at the events or the online shit, and I like seeing that.
The energy's always sick at the Academy, it always has been. Maybe probably because they are free events, there's no expectations. Obviously, the battlers have expectations to go through, but it's not like, it's not like we're putting you on Apex in front of, 800 people or whatever it is. Like, you're in front of 30 people. If you lose, it's not really a big deal. You're in this tournament to sort of sharpen your sword, you know what I mean?
Yeah, legit.
But So going into sort of the academy, so obviously I didn't do the best introduction for Major. So Major was the runner-up of the Academy 18 series, the first ever academy series we did throw as well, which, in my honest opinion, was my favourite of the two so far. The final matchup you had with LSD at the All-Star, pretty much everyone was saying was Battle of the Night alongside Soul and Ilmac, which is a testament to you two. And since then, you've gone on to battle Terminal and Chilla Jones at Premier Battles. Going into the academy, now, I remember before the academy, you was playing pro clubs with us and you wasn't Major Concerns at the time. You was just...
Was that not me?
You was just jaunty on your... on the
oh, really? Was it? Oh, it's probably because I accepted the thing, because I think my name on PSN was Major Concerns, to be fair.
Yeah, because I just remember you as Johnny because you sent me a verse of you spitting 16 bars on SoundCloud. And you
really? Mad.
That was on the Major Concerns either.
Oh, shit, yeah. I completely forgot how you even entered the academy. Oh, shit, yeah, I sent you that SoundCloud verse. Yeah, mad.
He was talking, if I remember rightly, we set that Premier Gorilla Club up on FIFA Clubs. I just put the
yeah, and I was streaming for you. I remember I was recording the matches for you because you were going to do content. Yeah, I remember.
He was just saying if fans want to get involved, sort of send us a message and come and play with us. We got talking on the headset. Me, you, shot it. We had a decent little group of players. I think it was like Tally, Tox, Flawless, Bloodstroke.
Yeah, we're winning games, man.
Yeah, and I remember you sending me a verse. And I was like, join the academy. Was battling something you wanted to get into, or was it sort of like the opportunity was there? Just go for it, see what happens.
Nah, it was just basically I'd obviously watched Don't Flop for a time, innit? And then during that time when I heard about the academy, I wasn't even really watching that many battles. Yeah. But I just remember when I used to watch Don't Flop and that, it sounds so cringe, but I just remember sometimes I'd watch a battle and I'd think in my head how I'd rebuttal what they've said, do you know what I mean? Just I was young in it, bro. I was fucking 14, 15, do you know what I mean? Allow me, but so I used to just remember doing that, and I used to just chuckle to myself in it, yeah, that's pretty funny that. And then obviously I didn't ever think about applying at the time because, like we touched on before, Don't Flop was almost this really, really private club that, you couldn't just walk in and get a Don't Flop tryout. Do you know what I mean? You had to, there was barely any tryout events because of, all the amount of battlers that we were. The events Don't Flop was throwing was fucking mad. The cards were main event cards of the equivalent to, obviously maybe not Apex because obviously the international names, but, big cards now that we're throwing. They were throwing them every other month for a joke. It's mad. And there was no tryout events obviously at the time. I think there was a few, but it was always in London. Obviously Don't Flop was very rarely in Manchester. There was a few events obviously. I think Revival was in Manchester, wasn't it?
Revival was the first event back. Well, we did Manchester versus London. That was the first
I was at Manchester v London, so I think that was probably the last event I went to before I actually tried out, was Manchester versus London. And I remember even then I'd gone off battle rap, but obviously it was Shotty versus Tone, and I was like, yo, this is fucking mad. I'd not watched battle rap for maybe a few months, and I was like, yo, these are the two of the best to ever do it, and the fucking battling in Manchester. I was like, this is I'd be daft not to go. So I remember going to that, but no, I can't remember what happened, but I think it was from playing. I think I just followed a few of the battlers in it, and then I heard about Premier Battles, and then I went to the match day event in London. What was that, match day 2?
Match day 2, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to that, and then obviously I was obviously following the battlers, and I remember this academy thing happened, and I thought, you know what, if I don't go for it now, this is something that I will never ever do. So I thought, fuck it, I'll just apply. It's a tryout thing, if like you said before, you're in front of a few people, if I get fucking bodied, then it's a minor. No one's really, next week, no one's really going to be talking about it, and obviously the complete opposite happened, didn't it?
The thing is as well, we put the word out that the battles wouldn't be going on YouTube as well, so it kind of takes that pressure off. Is if you did fuck up and completely mess up, no one was really going to see it. They were going on the network.
Yeah.
I think we only ended up putting out a few from the qualifiers on YouTube. I think yours was one of them. But yeah, the way we put the academy together, I want to say this with the academy because I've seen a few posts about, the new lineup for Academy 20. We never put this out there as a newcomer tournament. It was a tournament for battle rappers to develop. So we knew we wasn't going to go and get Raptor, Dialect, Quill. We wasn't going to get their names in the academy. There was no point because they were a part of the team format.
Yeah.
But this was open for everybody else who wanted to be a part of Premier Battles. Obviously, if you was a newcomer like yourself, perfect for us because we can sort of mould you into battle rappers.
Yeah, exactly.
You've not done certain, you're not picked up bad traits here and there, plus your new names, we can see where you want to go. And the amount of battle rappers that is still now, like Common Curve, Milka, yourself, not yourself because obviously you was new, but LSD, there was battlers even around the Don't Flop times that were like not getting a look in, but were still good. Like, they were just sort of in that mystery box of like not being really shit, but not breaking through the mold yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Premier Battle's almost like, I think especially this season, because I remember when I applied, I remember what I was going through, like what I was thinking was, you've got all these massive names like Soul, fucking Dialects, all these huge big names involved. Like Luna C was one of the managers. You did the Ultimate Team, remember the pack opening?
Yeah.
Great, amazing fucking marketing. That was fucking incredible. I fucking loved that. I thought you opened a pack for, oh my God, look at these names coming out. Fucking mad. And I remember, I think, this is an actual chance. Because I remember the only thing on my mind was, I want to get to the final and I'll be on this card. I'll be on this mad card and I know they're going to put on a fucking mad one. And literally, obviously, you had Soul Ilmac on it and that's all I came to do. And I think this is what I didn't really get about last year's Academy. It's very hard to compare, like, the caliber of people because, like, obviously Milky went on to win it and I think Milky would be a test for me. He'd be a test for Dean. He'd be a test for a lot of the even quarterfinalists in last year's Academy. He'd be very good. Bizzo's another name, do you know what I mean? So maybe not on the same level as kind of there was better talent in the first year. I just don't know what it was. It was just people seemed a lot more hungrier. I think the events, like, a lot more people was there watching, a lot more fans than the second year of the Academy. And I don't know, everyone just wanted it. Everyone really wanted to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone came with really fucking good stuff. And then the last year Academy, like, obviously no shade on Grazza, I didn't know what happened, but I remember him, like, no-showing at that fucking...
Yeah, he was
supposed to battle. He was supposed to battle visual, wasn't he? And he no-showed visual. And he's talking about he can't come down. It's like, bro, it's like, fair enough, this is just a hobby, innit? No one's... Maybe he didn't want to fucking, get to the top and fucking battle on these big stages, but I just looked at that and I thought, well, he's just wasted this mad opportunity. Obviously, I don't know the situation. It could have been something, in which case I do apologise. But if it was just a case of, I can't be bothered doing this, that's mad because it'll be so hard for him now to get a look in again, like, on the league. Like,
the thing is as well, it's not like he's not blew it, but he's wasted that opportunity to go to the All-Star game and open up for Shotty and John. But at the same time, he's wasted an opportunity for someone else to do it who went out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think last year, if I'm being totally honest, I think a lot of it was down to... I think people tried to coast a little bit last year, whereas the first year, everything was still new and shiny. Premier Battles was brand new. The Academy was brand new idea. And I think, I remember that the last 16 last year, there was a point where I think we did 3 battles and there was a choke in every battle at the start of the day. And I remember getting on the mic saying, this has to be better. Like, don't come to the Academy if this is what it's going to be. Because I won't put any of this footage out. And I think they ended up saying these... the last 16, so 8 battles? I think there was 6 battles that had chokes and stumbles and shitting. Whereas the year you did it, there was I think there was 1 no-show in the whole competition.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, Pharaoh. And there was barely any stumbles, barely any chokes.
Yeah, I remember I stumbled against Bombshell in the first round. That was obviously my first ever round. And
the qualifier.
Which was live after that. And then I stumbled against Dean in the final as well, which was a bit annoying. But aside from that, like, it was all pretty clean performances all around, you know what I mean? There was I can't remember any, like, major chokes. I remember Bentner called time early in his third against me, but I think it wasn't really a choke. It was just like, I just can't really be bothered, obviously, spitting the rest of his round. But no, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. Whereas last year, I don't know. It's just, and I don't even think it was from, like, a marketing point of view from you guys, because I was invested into last year's Academy. I knew who was in the Academy. I knew who was battling. I knew who the events were and stuff. But yeah, I remember just, I don't know. It just didn't have the same buzz around it, did it? Like, it just really didn't.
I think there was an accumulation of things with it, though. Like, obviously, the Apex thing happened after match day 2. So all our attention went from anything to do with Premier Battles into fixing Apex. Bear in mind, we'd had Rivers who'd become champion and then left the league. So we was dealing with that situation of trying to find a new... Yeah. Apex had happened. I think we did match day 3. We had, like, fucking 3 dropouts again or something. So everything was starting to crumble with a sort of like a layer of the match day sort of setup. So we didn't put as much attention in from our side of things into the academy like we did the first year. Like the first year we did sort of like the documentary series.
Yeah, it was so good. Like you literally felt it was dead mad because I remember like when I tried out against Bombshell, I thought, oh, it's just gonna be a standard event, and then it was like, oh, we want to come with us, we've got to shoot this shot with you, we've got to do this with you, and I'm like, I feel like I'm really like a part of this like mad thing, and it just kind of made me want to like win it more. Do you know what I mean? Because I thought, they are really putting serious work in there. Obviously, that's when like I first met like Nick and all them, and I thought, you got Red Line. It's like obviously I didn't know. Obviously, Red Line were kind of just like new starting up. But I thought they've got all these guys fucking shooting fucking mad shit, and I was like, this is fucking surreal. This is fucking mad. And honestly, mate, it was such an amazing thing to be part of. Like, I think people can like talk shit about like league owners and promoters and fucking leagues all day, but the academy was it was so fun, man. It was so good.
Academy events, I still do. Like, the academy events were my battle events where I could go and get drunk. Like when I do match day, academy and Apex and All Star, I have to be switched on all the time because I'm not just dealing with what's in the room. I'm dealing with fucking flights and loads of bollocks. Whereas the academy, I can turn up. I don't have to worry about light engineers, sound engineers. It's like, Nick, is your camera record ready with batteries? Yeah, right. Blood stroke, go and host. I'll stand with a cocktail and do a few things.
Yeah.
Like, I love car crash battles. Like, I love car crash battles. So my thing with the academy as well is I'm not expecting car crash battles, but if I go in there and I find, like yourself or LSD or Milky or Visual, I get to watch a sick battler anyway. But then if the battle's an absolute mess, I'll enjoy it anyway because it's a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
In the back of my head, I'm probably thinking I'm never going to put this out. But like I remember the first year, the first qualifier, Anubis versus Ferro. Remember that? Bro,
don't, man. Anubis is my guy, but Anubis, man, how many fucking chances does that guy need, bro?
Bro, besides J Short and D-Mac, that's the only ever battle we've ever vaulted because it was that bad.
Anubis.
Anubis turned up and was just literally for 2 rounds. All he says is, I was mashed on cocaine last night and I don't really want to do this. I just remember watching it. And in the end, I'm thinking, I love watching this live, but I will hate the fact that I've got this on footage.
That's so fucking funny. He makes me laugh so much because I just see him all the time, but he's just so honest. Like, he'll be on Facebook, like, I think he's had other clashes, like grime clashes, where he's set up and choked out, and he's been like, bro, trust me, the night before I had 32 bars ready to go, and then the next day, if you ask him about it, he'd be like, I'll be honest, bro, just fucked it, and it just got two, just went on the session.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad, like, so I think with like, I think last year's academy was good. We found a few names that it's a shame Milky can't battle anymore because I think he would have had a good year with us. Visual, I'll continue to book Visual. I think he's a great prospect to come through the academy system.
Definitely.
But then even drop down to the semis, your Bizzos, even Grazza to an extent, like whatever happened, it is what it is. If he works his way back up through undisclosed events, then fair enough.
Yeah, I'd like to see him, but I like Grazza, like as a person, and I always chat to him at events. Like, he's such a sound guy. It's just shit about, like, although I'm not a league promoter and stuff, it's like you get to know you. I've got to know Shot. You know what I mean? I've got to know league owners and stuff, and like even the dub lads and that. And when you speak to them, it's just like you speak to them just about no shows and stuff. Like, I just think like it's just so annoying. It's just you've had this opportunity, and it's just like, for me, it's just, if it's a one-off battle, fair enough. But when it's a tournament kind of structure like that, it just fucks it up for everyone else, because it's like Visual just got pretty much like a free pass to the final. I'm not saying he wouldn't have beat Grazza, because I heard his shit, he probably would have won anyway. Like, Visual was very, very good. But shout out Grazza. Like, it's one of them. And like you said, if he gets on undisclosed and works his way back up, then that's fair enough. Definitely.
Because there's a few that came through your year and a few that came through this year that didn't win, but will still, your Sam Hypeses, your Will Rosses, like, they still will get booked.
Sam Hypes has got really good. Wait, was Sam Hypes my year? Was he not last year?
No, it was last year, Sam Hypes. He lost in the first round.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he was in. Was he not at the event though? The last one we did. Who did he battle? Did he not battle Jan or something?
I don't think he battled Tidal at the undisclosed.
No, the one before that. Did he not battle Jan in the attic?
Yeah, that was just an undisclosed battle.
Oh, that was oh right. So he got because I thought like Sam versus Tidal was really good. Like, he was really, really good in that.
Oh yeah, Sam got knocked out by I think it might be Grazzy, you know. I'm not too
really?
sure. Sam got knocked out of the tournament in the first round. But like I say, we just said to him straight away, like, did like what you do. Like, it's just, the thing is with the academy is, if you get knocked out, it doesn't matter what round you get knocked out. It just means someone in that tournament was better than you. So whether it's the first round or the final, you just were short of being the best in that competition.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you get, this is what I'm trying to say to the newcomers as well. Like, if you get knocked out in the last 16, don't think that's me done. Like, you might have just faced the guy who's going to go on and win the tournament. You just happen to get straight away. Like, Will Ross and Bizzo, first round was fucking a nightmare for us, but we draw it live on Facebook and it's fair, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a good battle,
But like I said to Will and LS Dean last night, I was talking to him, like, it's a shit how that happened in the first round, but from our perspective, we still got to see it happen. Someone else could have knocked one of them out, and then we would never have seen Bizzo versus Will Ross. But it is what it is. So, going into the academy, you battled, who did you beat? Bombshell?
Yeah, beat Bombshell.
Blitz.
Bombshell, Bentner, Blitz, iKid, and then obviously lost to Dean in the final. Yeah. Was
there anything sort of you wish would have been done better in the academy, or did everything sort of go to plan for that year?
No, like from a league point of view or from my point of view?
Both.
From my point of view, I think I did a lot of very, very niche references in a lot of the battles. I think Dean was the battle where I didn't have as many niche references, and I can't really complain. Do you know what I mean? That in my eyes, I beat everyone. I don't think I lost a round up until Dean. That's just my honest opinion. But yeah, like, I'd say the niche references, but then again, like I said, I won anyway, so I guess they don't really matter. I'd say for the league point of view, like, I think the iKid battle especially, like, you've seen the comments and the lighting and the audio on it is just really, really bad in it. Like, there's a few of those like that. It probably would have been nice to have the documentary kind of come out kind of after the time, you know, because I know obviously you're working kind of through the footage and stuff now. But no, like I said, I think it was done so well. I think it was a bit annoying, obviously, having to battle Dean in the final. Neither of us particularly wanted to write for each other, and we said that. We were writing together up until the final, and it was just a bit awkward because I was kind of like, you know, I've kind of got to know this guy, and we're like pretty good mates now, and it's kind of, I'd never had to battle someone that I was kind of cool with. So not that I was like ever overly deep against anyone else, you know what I mean? I've never been the type of guy to do that, but against Dean, I was writing stuff and I was like, nah, like, I can't say that, like, do you know what I mean? It's a bit tight, like, so it's very, very hard. Like, you've probably had it yourself as a battler, someone you're super cool with, and I think maybe that's not the issue, but this is what has happened recently, is because the fans at Premier Battles events always seem to go to the same events and always go to like kind of the Premier Battles events. You get to know these people in it, so you get to know a lot of the battlers. All the battlers chill together and stuff. And then when it's people like, oh, do you want to battle this person? It's like, oh, no, I'm cool with him. It's like now, me and Milky are really good friends, and it's like, I don't know if Milky came back and someone was like, would you battle Major? He would say no, and I'd be like, no, I'm not battling Milky. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this is the issue. As soon as you make friendships and shit, it just eliminates the possible the matchups in it. But that's just one of them, innit? Like,
I think that's the thing with a tournament as well, or from like the perspective of going into a tournament, you have to understand that you may come against someone you are cool with, because you know it's an 8 versus 8 tournament. If your team, we were quite lucky all year because it had a narrative. Tox and Flawless was selling it, whereas last year Tox and Dialect didn't really get involved.
I think on one of the events you were like, it might have even been the semis. I think you announced it and was like, representing Team Tox and Team Flawless. Like, you just threw mad shade on Dialect. I was like, oh, bro, obviously, like, you just carried on. Like, usually you stop yourself and reshoot. You didn't even reshoot. I was like, oh, okay, well, Dialect's going to be semi-pissed off at that. But
what it is, bro, it's like, obviously, I would never meant it in an offensive way to Dialect.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Because the first year, Tox and Flawless was so energetic about the whole tournament, it added to the competition. Because people were going, oh, Team Tox are dickheads, but you couldn't keep your eyes off Team Tox because they were loud, they were fucking causing nuisance, and they were backing their own, which was sick. It added to the whole narrative of it. So
you're absolutely right. Yeah.
It's what we're kind of got to go back to this year. We've got LSD and Milky coming in.
I'm excited for that. I just hope, obviously, with the whole look, because I know the tryouts being done over video battle. Is that right?
The way the world is right now.
Yeah, for sure. So I think hopefully after that, if we can get kind of what will that be, the last 16, then hopefully that'll be an actual event, do you reckon?
Yeah, so the qualifiers are going to be video. and then the last 16 will be an actual event, which is a gamble for us really, because we could put someone through who can absolutely nail it in the living room. But when
it's not. I was talking. I can't remember who I was talking to about this, and I was like, if I'm being completely honest with you, mate, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I said, it might have been worth them waiting until lockdown's finished and they can do the events, because I said the exact same thing that you can do. People can rap at the phone all day, mate. People can stare, like I said, in the living room, in the fucking mum's yard, wherever, can rap at the phone all day. But it's completely different whether it's 30 people watching or 300 people watching. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've done them both, and how you feel, for me, doesn't really change. It's like all these people are wanting you to do good and are wanting to hear you spit, do you know what I mean? And you can't fuck up. At the end of the day, like, if you're recording it on your phone or whatever like that, how many times can you fuck up, do you know what I mean? We re-record, like, some of it's going to be take 500 or whatever, and he's nailed it perfectly in that. But no, like I said, it is a gamble, and I guess you'll see how it pays off in the last 16. And by any means, I don't think it's going to be a case of all 16 battlers cannot battle in real life. Do you know what I mean? There'll be a few good people in there, and there'll probably be a few people that aren't so good, but I guess that's just what it is. Like, it makes it exciting, though. It's something to talk about, innit? And something to look forward to.
Someone who's been through the academy and come out the back end of it and battled Chilla Jones sort of thing. What's your thoughts on this year's academy from the announcements that we made?
I mean, there's just not a lot of names, is there? Like, the thing is, it's like, I don't recognise a lot of the names on there. Like, don't recognise that. There's a few names, like, I recognise, like Scam, I think Metaphor, never really seen him, but just names I've heard in the forums and stuff like that. A few names I've heard, but I was looking at it, and part of me preferred it to last year's lineup because I knew a lot of the people in last year's, and last year's, I'll be completely honest, I was very excited for the Jan narrative. I was really excited to just follow Jan's journey, because obviously I'm mates with him, and I thought, you know what, it's going to be good to support my mate in it. And this year it's kind of like, there's a lot of names I don't recognise, and hopefully it'll be a case of looking for new talent. But there's a few names in there, obviously I don't want to like throw shade on anyone, but there's a few names in there that I've seen before and I've seen battle, and I just it's not up to me to say I don't think it's for them, but I also, if you've done this for however long and you've not really improved at all, then why is this going to change anything? But I think maybe for those battlers, it's kind of like last chance saloon, as it were. It's just, I'll go for it. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. If it does, then happy days. But no, I'm excited for it. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it had the same buzz around it, like I said, in the first year, and I don't want to keep going on about, like, my academy year was the best or anything like that, and it's not even a case of that, and it, like I said before, it's not even about, like, the talent in the academy, it's just the overall vibe around it and stuff. Like, I didn't even know it had been announced. Like, I've been on Facebook, and I remember like I said, my dad follows so much battle rap, and he texts me like, oh shit, what do you think of, like, Dean versus Milky? I was like, oh shit, what you on about? Like, I thought Milky wasn't battling anymore, and then he was obviously telling me, I was like, oh shit, mad, like, this is a really good idea. And obviously Dean's already shouted me to help with some of the guys and stuff, which is cool. But no, I'm excited. Like, I liked last year, do you know what I mean? I did like it. I feel it'll be harder, obviously, with a lockdown, but it'd be good, maybe not specifically Red Lion or whoever, but to have someone on board, and shoot that documentary, because I feel that is just that's what interests me, is seeing the footage and seeing. I mean, you got to think the last two academies were pretty. Like, I was a newcomer and I've done all right. Visual was a newcomer; he's done really well. So this year it might be, the third year of a newcomer coming out of nowhere and getting to the final again. Like, it's been mad. That's happened for 2 years. Like,
well, the thing is, like, if you look at actual newcomers that have came, we've had yourself, we've had Visual, Slester was new, and Slester
was Zebedee new, the Scottish dude?
Oh, I think he's done a battle in Scotland, Zebedee.
I know he battled. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
I think he's done Iron Bars or something like that.
Yeah, he's battled Deviant on that, but obviously that was after the academy, I think.
Yeah, he'd done that as soon as he got knocked out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was you, Visual, Celestor, and in the first year you had Barnier.
What happened to him? He was really good.
He done a few on Don't Flop.
He did Don't Flop, and then he just kind of... I expected him to just see him on, like, more cards and stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, I went to shout him for Undisclosed with Bloodstraw, but I can't find him on anything. I don't know what his Facebook is or anything.
Disappeared.
So I'll try and dig in somewhere, but see what happens. But I think my perspective going into this year, so we're going to do the same thing with Red Lion. Red Lion are going to film this.
Buzzing.
They're obviously going to push the whole Milky LSD narrative as well. So with the qualifiers, we're going to get them to send the videos in. And this is kind of where I was going back to before, is you know, I've seen a few people going, "Oh, the academy just doesn't have any names in it this year, or it's names that have been on Don't Flop before and fucking not really made it." But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we can only pick from who applies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, like, talking about names and stuff of an academy, it should be the complete opposite. Like, I remember when I first tried out, like, I know you said before it was never meant for a tournament for just newcomers, but mate, I genuinely thought it was, innit? So when I applied, that's probably one of the main reasons I applied, because I remember telling my mates, it's like, oh, no one's battled before anyone anyway, so everyone's in the same boat as me, like no one's done this before. So I genuinely, and then when I saw the flyer and I was seeing like Riser, obviously I'd seen DARPA before, Bombshell, I was like, yo, what the fuck, they've done me dirty a bit here, they've thrown me in with guys who have battled. And then obviously I drew Bombshell for the first round. I was like, oh shit, but I thought, all right, cool, like time to just catch my first body in it, but it's just one of them, bro. But no, like names. I don't want to see names. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are talking about Georgie Roots should have gone in the academy, and you know we would have took everyone's head off and all this. I rate Georgie Roots. I rate Georgie Roots very, very highly, but academy is not the right step for him. Yeah. Why would he go and do the academy when he's already getting a buzz on Don't Flop? He's got a massive buzz on Facebook. He's winning those 8 words challenge nearly every time. It's rap battling and rapping on a forum is obviously a bit different, but you know what I mean. He's got a buzz around him. People know who he is. He could realistically, let's be honest. If he hit up your inbox and was like, "Briggz, I want a battle on Premier Battles," you'd be like, "Yeah, no worries, mate. Do an undisclosed card or whatever." Yeah, exactly. You can do this, and it's like I think the next step for them would be maybe Kiz versus Georgie Roots on Premier Battles, and do like a title match on beat or whatever, because Kiz is like the on beat champion in the UK or something like that. So Dove Scandal, so yeah, well, I'd like to see that clash, but no, like he's done the right thing in my eyes, because he'd already built a bit of a buzz. If he'd done 1 or 2 Don't Flops and they were shite, and no one was really talking about him 100%, and that's for me what I thought the academy, like, and it kind of is, you know what I mean? Like, Visual took the exact same steps I did, and it should be for these people, like you said, who never really got to the level of maybe appreciation or skill they wanted to do, and this is a chance to maybe like start from the bottom, as it were, but actually get to the top, because that's what you're getting. You're getting a main event out of it on one of the biggest cards in the UK. Like, do you know what I mean? You'd be, even if you were a semi-established battler, it might still be worth doing it, but with Georgie, I do believe he'll probably still be able to get a decent sized name, kind of just doing what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So,
see, I'm on the fence with a bit of that, because, like, let's take Georgie Roots for example. Me and Georgie spoke when he put his application in for the academy.
Oh, did he apply? Oh, I didn't realise
he applied. Yeah, he applied, and then I hit him up and said, "Look, do you want to do the academy, or do you just want to come on a Premier Battles card? You've got enough hype around you. I'll book you on a Premier Battles card." Now, the academy, fair enough, he might have killed a few people going on there, but you also might have lost. Like,
thanks.
The thing is, people, this is where I was kind of getting before with the whole, we have to value people where they really are. Like, Georgie Roots is sick, I'm a big fan of what he's doing.
For real.
On beat, acapella-wise, I've only seen 1 battle. And he's
that's true. I've not seen much offbeat stuff by him. I think he was in the Don't Flop, did like what's the word, like a recap of an event, and it had like the best punchlines in, or the funniest jokes or whatever, and I think he'd featured in some of them. But you're absolutely right, like I've really only heard, I don't think I've seen any of his his a cappella stuff, like apart from those little clips. I've seen everything I've seen him is just on beat, like.
Well, he's done what, in a sense, what Bobby Rex did with building the whole forum hype and presence, but at the same time Bobby Rex was 3 or 4 battles in a cappella on Don't Flop when he was doing that. For me, Georgie Roots is at the point where he could potentially, with the right push, be a major face in UK battle rap. But at the minute, if I'm being totally honest, he's a major face of UK battle rap forums. Like, if you're not going to go into the academy, right? I would have loved Georgie to go into the academy, even though I offered him Anarchy anyway and put him on the card, because he has got the hype around him and there's no hiding from that. And Georgie said to me when I said it to him, he was like, "I want to do the academy because I'll battle people that I never will battle. So I'll go against the comedian, I'll go against the writer. Whereas at the minute, I don't really know what I am as a battler because I've not done that many battles, which is the perfect way to look at it. If you're Georgie Roots, let's take George Rich's name out of it. But if you're that stature of Georgie at the minute, you could come into this competition, kill 5 opponents, and then go and get an international straight off the back of it. Whereas all you're going to do now is go and do hype battles. So, fuck it, let's just use Georgia. So he's got Hulk and Bobby Rex lined up, yeah? They're based off hype. If he gets murdered in them 2 battles, is that battle that could have been decent? Like, remember that Georgia Roots, he was okay, he should have been better. Whereas I think that's one thing battlers are doing at the minute is over jumping where you need to be to get to the top. Like, wins are more important than opponent names right now in your new career. Because look at you, Major, you had, fair enough, they weren't the biggest names. You had Bombshell, fucking Lord Bentner, Blitz, iKid, LS Dean, right? First, you had 4 wins out of 5. All people were talking about was who's going to beat Major Concerns. And then you went to Terminal, who was probably the top of Ireland at that.
Terminal was a close battle. To be fair, that could have gone either way. I still think I got the win on that one, but I know he thinks he got the win, and it was a close battle with that one. I can't even deny that was a close battle with Terminal.
Terminal's an established battle. He's been battling for ages.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done big events, done little events. Like, you've done that, and then you've gone to Major Concerns. Then you've gone to Chilla Jones. But that's a progression. People were invested. Remember when you walked out on stage at Apex and the crowd was shouting Major?
Yeah, it was so sick, bro, mate. You can't, like, the thing is, people talk about, doing all this mad shit, man. You don't know what it's like until you've done a card like that, man. It's just, you think you've really experienced what, like, battle rap is and how an event is, but until you go on, like, a massive stage like that, mate, honestly, it's unreal, bro. Like, you've done it, do you know what I mean? Like, and the people who've done it kind of understand it, but that's what gets me just about people like pissing away the opportunities, not taking it 100% seriously. It's like, this is not a fucking, if you win the academy, you might get an international, you might get the, a top UK name. This is, no, we will fully give you whichever one of those you want. Exactly. Obviously, I'm not saying they can start asking for fucking Twerk, Tay-Rock, all these mad names, but, if it's feasible, then you will work to do it. And this is what I don't get is, like, I literally did that. Like, I lived that exact same thing that you told me, like, that would happen. Do you know what I mean? And fair enough, obviously, I didn't win the academy and I still got that. But, Dean still got a big name. Dean got Matter off it. And Matter's obviously one of the best in the UK. Like, and that was obviously his chance and stuff. And obviously, that obviously didn't go out too well for him. But, yeah, like, it's not like he's a bullshitting about what the prize is. Do you know what I mean? It's not some fucking mad, like, scam, like, or just battle and, you might get one of these. You're going to get it. And it's just, I just think people just aren't motivated. I think the people who are doing it, which is fair enough, you can do it for a laugh, innit? Not everyone's looking to battle big names off it, but surely you want to kind of get out of, a room with 50 people into, experience and do all this mad stuff. Like,
you want people to invest in you as a battler, because look at Dean, for example. The idea with Dean was, when he won the academy, not to throw him straight into another battle, because if he loses, straight away he's tagged with, he can only win a tryout tournament or a newcomer tour. Whereas we sat him back, you stepped in straight away against Terminal because you overturned the loss to Dean, so straight away people were talking about Major Concerns again. Like, fair enough, Dean went against Matter, he went against myself, and then he went against Laser. It was easier opponents to go against. Like, I'm not in Matter's bracket, but I've been doing it 10 years. I know how to work a crowd. These people Dean could have gone against, and imagine Dean would have picked up 3 wins before Apex.
You're talking maybe title shot on that. Do you know what I mean? You're talking fucking title shot.
Seriously, like. And that's no shade on Dean. Dean's a very, very...
Like, I thought, like, obviously no bias. I thought Dean beat Matter in it. I thought he beat him in the room, and I've watched it back, and I thought he beat Matter. Obviously, Judge's decision went another way. I thought you beat Dean, and then Lazy... I think on the day I had Lazy edge in it, but I can't remember. And it's one of them, and it's hard because I do feel for Dean, because I don't feel that he wasted his opportunities. I do think he was really good. He was just super unlucky, man. Like, Matter in Leeds, like, it'd be hard for anyone to win that battle when you're in a guy's back garden like Matter. and then you were just fucking crazy against him, and then obviously Lazy, like, no one expected Lazy to have that kind of performance on that stage. Like, no one, I remember speaking to so many people who said he's going to go up there and he's going to choke, it's going to look so awkward, it's going to look so embarrassing, because he's not going to know how to react to all these people, and he fucking killed it. And it's one of them, and I think Dean was great in that battle, but I think Lazy kind of proving everyone wrong did more than Dean just being Dean, if that makes sense. So
underdog.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at. So with Dean is, as a promoter, I'll always book Dean, because even though he's took a few L's, he's still always performed. He's still always made a good battle.
Yeah, he's a great battler.
The fans' perspective is Dean's lost again. Look at Raptor as the prime example of this. Raptor might have lost his last 6 battles, but his opponents have been O'Shea, Quill, fucking, did it like they're all top tier names, and he's give sick performances against the majority of them. But people will go, Raptor can't win a battle, not taking into the fact he's battling top tier opponents. He's not battling fucking MC nobody. This is what I'm trying to say with people in the academy. Like, just use him as an example. Crash from Wales.
Yeah, I know. Is Crash in this year's academy?
No, so this is what I'm getting at. He applied for this year's academy, and I've not spoken to him about it. I've seen him post it on the internet. So he applied for this year's academy. I chased him up the other day. He read the inbox and aired it. I was just saying, are you still interested? Then I seen a post on the forum where he's saying, a few people hit me up about doing the academy and said, don't do it because it makes no sense of where you're at the moment, because he's battling.
Where's Crash at?
I think Crash is a decent battler. I think with the right guidance, he could be very, very good. But
he had his chance. He had his chance against DMAC on Gab, and DMAC smoked him. It's one of them, like, he's had chances.
Well, this is what I was looking at. So I was looking at Crash's verse track, or not just Crash. I look at everyone who applies for Premier Battles Academy that has battled before. I look at who they battled before and where they've gone. And some of the battles are on like 130 views. Now, if you're a battler, you might be good, and you're getting shots on another league. But in terms of where you want to take this as a career, win 4 battles and you're on Apex. You're there. I'm not being funny. I counted the other day. I think it was 36 academy releases that we put out. There's only 5 of them less than 1,000 views. Yeah. So if you're in the academy, if your whole purpose of being a battle rapper is to get noticed and get these opportunities, no other league's giving them views at the minute in the UK.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of these battlers look at it like, I've done 10 battles, so I'm too good enough for this tournament. It's a try. I've done 10 battles. I finally deserve a main event. It's like, you've had 10 battles, mate, and you've lost every single one of them 3-0. Obviously, not specifically Crash, but there's battlers out there that has happened to. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, just because you've done battles, just because you've fucking been in the game longer, as people would put it, or you've put in work for battle rap, you were fucking shite. Why does it matter if you were fucking shit? I'm not fucking arsed. If I was a league owner and I've seen you've done 50 battles and you'd won 10 of them, I'd be like, yeah, mate, maybe do our tryout tournament in it, because clearly you've gone 50 battles and you've not got any better. If you're not getting any better, then surely this is the perfect opportunity.
From the same point of view as well, like, if I look at, say, someone like Crash, if I'm looking at you and you've got some battles on 600 views, some battles on 200 views, and I think, you know what, he can go far in this competition because he will beat a few people. You're going to be pulling in 1,200, 1,400, 2,000 views as you potentially go on to the final. You get that final. I think yours with LS Dean's on like 6K or something, is it? Visual and Milky's on like just under 3K at the minute. It's only been out a month. Like, the more views, and if you're doing this for light on your name, go where the light is going to be on your name. There's no point going and battling in pubs in front of 20 people in 200 views, because I might run a small league and go, you know what, you've killed 10 people on our league, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and book you Raptor Warhurst. Bring Raptor to that league, it gets 2,000 views. But no one's give a shit, because no one's really watching Raptor battle anybody. Does that make sense? Like, exactly. Raptor versus Quill or Raptor versus whoever. It's like, so the academy for me is this, why I don't want to say it's a newcomer tournament. It's a tournament, that's all it is. It's all it's classed as, because obviously I know we're not going to get top tier names because I don't want top tier names in it.
Would you reject those names though? If someone like Footnose, like Rivers came back and said, you know what, Briggs, I want to squash everything. I don't know if it's all sorted anyway, but I want to come back to Premier Battles. I want to prove to you, not that Rivers has anything to prove, but do you know what I mean? I for whatever reason, I'm Rivers and I want to enter the academy. Are you accepting him into that or not?
Yeah.
Would you fully, if Rivers or Quill or someone like top tier came up to you and said, I want to enter the academy, you just throw them in there and just let them fucking smash all of these names?
You know why? I do it because...
That's savage, man. That's so tight.
Nah, there's two ways to look at that, though. I do it because if Rivers walked through it, this is just using Rivers as an example, if Rivers was to walk through it, he would get what was promised to him. He'd get cash in his pocket at the end of it, and he'd get an international performance or a top-tier UK.
Yeah.
So he's guaranteed that as an end product. Whereas it also gives 4 other names the chance to battle someone with that experience. Mm-hmm. The amount of experience they'll gain out of that. Like, imagine I would have put you against, I don't know, Rivers, for example, in the quarter.
Yeah.
Look at you and Ikid. Ikid was an established battler. Like, he was making his name in Gab. He'd done a couple.
I would have given Rivers a test. And if we're talking my performance versus iKid versus Rivers, I would have given Rivers a test. I fully believe I would have. I'm not saying that I would have beaten Rivers, but there's no way Rivers, that anyone in that stage, you know what I mean, that is getting, I'm taking a body from, no way. That is just not happening. Like,
that's the main thing.
Exactly, and you're right. But maybe then, because obviously I wasn't even now, I was still thought this is for kind of newer people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think then next year you might turn around and say, let's scrap the academy name and just call it something else and advertise it as this is a tournament for anyone to enter? Do you think you'd do it that way and just have... Because when was the last time there was a battle rap tournament? Do you know what I mean? Like a sick battle rap tournament.
You'd be thinking of doing a tournament. That's sort of what this year was going to be. This year was going to be the Anarchy. Like, we was going to call the year the Anarchy year.
Yeah.
Everyone was going for the belt. But obviously the way the year's turned out is fucking mental.
It's a bit mad, innit? Yeah.
But we still have a ranking system, so you get 3 points for the win, 5 points for the performance of the night, 5 points for the battle of the night.
Yeah.
And the ranking system is there, so we still know sort of who is ranked where. And the thing with Premier Battles, it doesn't matter on your views, it matters on your wins. Like, there's people in the top 10 that have got fucking significant... Like, Raptor's done 4 battles on Premier Battles, and 3 of them are over 25k views.
Right.
But he's the most viewed person on Premier Battles besides Shotty and Soul. And he's like ranked number 7 because he's not won, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's got it because he's had a battle and he's had like 3 battles of the nights back to back sort of thing. Whereas Koj is 3rd, and he still is there now because he ended up beating 3 people in a row and having 3 performance of the nights in a row.
Yeah.
So his point tally's up here. Whereas this is what we wanted to do with this year. So it is sort of a tournament, like, look at Sam Hype. Sam Hype's just done 3 battles for Premier Battles, and I think he's won them all.
Has he entered this year's academy?
He's not entered this year's academy.
Oh, right.
But in regards to the rankings...
Oh, right, yeah, for sure. Like,
he's like 12 for something. If he carries on winning, it won't be long till he's at the top, and then we have to look at the rankings and go, Sam Hype's is 2nd, he's got a battle for the title.
But would that... See, this is obviously, we had the discussion previously, but do you not think, though, as much as obviously the rankings I think it's a great idea, obviously winning does matter, because I think that was a tag now, Premier Battles where winning matters or something like that. And what was I going to say? That like we spoke previously about how the battles would be kind of for a league perspective and kind of making kind of money, as it were, getting the views and stuff.
Yeah.
I think Sam Hypes is a great guy. I think he's a great battler, but if it turned into rank 1 was Soul and rank 2 was Sam Hypes, realistically, is that going to happen? Would you actually?
But then you have to look at, if you are ranked number 2, who have you beat on your progression to get to number 2?
Yeah, that's very true. Obviously, if Sam Hypes, I don't know, beats Raptor, beats fucking someone else, and then like, fair enough, then he has the argument then to say, I do want to battle. So
yeah, because the more you climb up the rankings means you're getting wins. So as a promoter, I'm going, right, Sam Hypes has just beat Tidal. So who's the next category above Tidal? That's where he needs to be battling now.
Yeah.
And by the time he gets to like 5th, the next ones up for there are like fucking yourself, like, you know what I mean, like that sort of bracket where we'd go, right, he needs a test now, someone who will beat him. Come through the back of that, then it's not just us. Fans will be like, fucking hell, he's just beat Major Concerns. He's just beat Quill. So then it gets to a point where you go, Matter is number one. Sam Hypes has just beat Raptor, Major Concerns, and Quill. He makes sense.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right there. I think, I don't know, I never really thought about this, but do you not think maybe, like, people are, like, let's use Crash for an example. Like, I'm not saying Crash is scared, but do you think people are frightened of the tournament aspect, knowing that each battle is judged and knowing that they have to win 5 battles consecutively to be crowned the champion? And you think, you know, a lot of these people battle on leagues that maybe don't judge the battles or will leave it down to, you know, what the YouTube comments say or whatever, and where realistically it doesn't matter if they win or lose, but, you know, on the first day, you know, they might not even get entered into the last 16, something like that. Do you think that kind of puts people off a lot of, like, entering and that?
1,000,000%, yeah.
Yeah, it's mad that to me, because obviously that never went through my head when I did it, but it's a completely, like, logical thing to be like, you've got people in the tournament, like Dean was very, very hungry. Dean said from, like, the first day, like, I'm going to come and I'm going to win this, and fair enough, he did. But I think it's almost like you've got to have that attitude of, I'm going to win every battle that I'm against, and maybe some of these guys are just like, oh, what if I come against this person? I won't be able to beat them. All right, okay, there's no point doing it. Do you know what I mean? But for me, like, and this is no shade on Crash. Obviously, I've not really followed, like, Crash's kind of battling career, as it were. But I think the Academy would be a perfect opportunity for Crash. You know what I mean? Win some new fans, because that's what it's about. You know, you battle once or whatever, and, you know, on Premier Battles, and, you know, we've got quite a big, like, sub base on there. Do you know what I mean? And people watch the battles and they look at it like, I've never seen this guy before. I'm going to keep an eye out for him on his next battle. Obviously, wins his first battle, then automatically he's going to have a second battle on the channel. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, of course.
I think people just downplay the narrative way too much. Like, they just don't understand it. Like,
there's a few people that do it. There's a few of the older the old guard that do it as well. Like, oh, it's a tryout tournament. Like just using Crash as the example, I think Crash is a good battler. Like, I am saying this because if I didn't think he was decent, I wouldn't have bothered looking into it.
For sure.
And he was saying, oh, there was people that hit me up. I think he said, like, D-Max, Snoop, and a few others hit him up. It was like, look, where you're at, this is no sense for you. But you have to look at where.
That's a bit mad to me, though. Why would you? I would never, like, obviously maybe everyone's different, right? But I'd never voluntarily hit someone up and be like, what you're doing is a bad business move, innit? Like, if someone came to me for advice and was like, yo, is this a good idea or whatever? Not like me and Crash don't speak in it, but I'd then give them advice. But if I just saw something randomly online, like, this person's doing the Academy and that, unless it was my immediate friend, like, Jan's done a fucking mad one and accepted some really, really shit battle, I'd message him like, Jan, why are you doing this? You know what I mean? But just not, I mean, maybe it's different. Maybe they are cool with Crash like that, but I don't know. I really thought, like, the Academy, like, especially for someone like him, he's the perfect battler to kind of go into it, like, almost a bit like how DARPA was when he was in the Academy. Like, exactly. I knew a little bit about him. I think I saw him in London. I can't remember who was battling. I saw him in London, and then I was like, oh yeah, this guy's quite an established name. And now people talk about DARPA, like, he beat Sean and Mac and stuff. Like, you know, people talk about him, and that's what it could have been. I'm not saying, you know, that's exactly what would have happened to Crash. You know, Crash might have taken the best advice possible, and, you know, fucking he's really good mates with, and suddenly he's going to have some mad main event, you know, in a few months or whatever. Like, you don't know that, but I think people do look at the Academy and put so much shade on the fact that it's a tryout tournament or it's names in there that you've never heard of and all this. But like you said, why does that matter? All you have to do is literally win 5 times and you get an international. Like, it's not hard, is it? Like, all those other 5 battles you're going to do, like, what are you going to do with them? It could just be anything that you're just going to do. You still might do 5 battles anyway, and you're not going to have an international at the end of it. So
this is why I kind of wish Georgie would have done it, because I do think Georgia, there was a couple, like, off the top of my head, people that applied that I think would have done decent. There was Georgia, there was Crash. I think them two specifically would have made at least the semis. So you would have had 4 battles under your belt at that time for Premier Battles. You go out in the semis. Doesn't mean you're not going to get booked anymore. You're still going to end up on, like you say, look at Sam Hypes went out the first round. He's still getting booked by us now. Like, if you're good, you're good. And not only that, you're being put into a situation where you're surrounded by a new fan base. So if you're battling on Gab or you're battling on Dub, you built your fan base there, you come to Premier Battles, then you go to Don't Flop. Like, you're building bubbles of fan bases all over, so your views go up. What happens when your views go up is people want to battle you. Like, when we booked you and Major Concerns, that wasn't just me and Shotty.
Me and Chilla, mate. Me and Chilla, yeah.
Yeah, you and Chilla.
Was it a mirror match? Yeah.
Fuck's sake. When you battled Chilla, that wasn't just me and Shotty going, let's give it major. Like, obviously, you was in the conversation, but we sent Chilla, I think it was 4 names, and he picked you.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
That's dope to me. That I still can't get over that. That to me is just fucking mad because
that's what I mean.
He's one of the best in the world, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like that's crazy. I still can't get over like bare times, bro. Genuinely, I'll look back on that day and I think that is genuinely one of the probably the sickest day of my life because I think this is fucking mad. Like I grew up watching this guy like on YouTube in college and that, just showing people like Chilla's, and then I was like battling him. It's honestly, bro, it's fucking mad. Like crazy.
Mate, it was meant for us to watch. Like people think this, as cheesy as this sounds, yeah. It was sick to see yourself come from a debut to being on our biggest stage against the former king of the dot champion. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Forget all the marketing strategies and the fucking promotion schemes. That's what we do this for because at the end of the day, we want to generate the next wave of talent and you're a part of that. Dean was battling way before you was battling, but I still see Dean as regenerated. This is a new...
Yeah, he almost like reinvented himself a little bit in it, like, and no one really talks about now Dean's older battles, like, oh, I remember when he did this, because they were quite a while ago. They talk about, you know, his performance against Koj, stuff like that. Yeah. And like I said, Dean did Dean was the perfect example, because I guarantee there probably would have been people who would be telling Dean, oh, the academy is not worth doing. Like, it's not worth doing, obviously, even on the first year. You know, you've had this many battles, you know, you're too good for that now, mate. You're too good, go and get a better battle or something like that. But what that did for Dean was put him back in the fans' eyes, get more fans watching and stuff. And that's what you didn't have before. And that's what a lot of these newcomers won't have. I'm not saying they've got to do the academy for this, but what other leagues kind of doing anything for tryouts? I know Don't Flop have got a lot of tryout events and stuff like that, but almost as like an actual tournament kind of structure in that, where if you win, you get to come back. Premier Battles are really the only one that springs to mind. I think Dub Scandal did one last year that didn't work out like massively well, like a 2-on-2 tournament. But yeah, like, and I just don't get it. I say this to people all the time about people are just so quick to just look at what's in front of them, kind of the names that are on the card, or, you know, like I said, just, oh, it's a tryout tournament, and they just don't think of like what's at the end of it. And it's mad to me because I'm literally the example of, this is what you can get. All you have to do is just win your battles, and this is what will happen. And I don't know, it's like people just don't believe it, bro. I just don't get it. It's mad. I
might even throw myself in the academy. I might go...
Do it, bro. Do it. Smoke them all. Yeah, you can battle me at the final if you want.
Mate, I've been doing it 10 years and I've never battled an international, apart from... I've been in an international, but I've never battled an international.
Mad that. You should book yourself one.
I know, I'm going to put myself through the academy. But I definitely think... I'm glad we've spoke about this, because it's something that's been on my head for a bit. Anyway, like, the sort of stigma around where you are and why you should and shouldn't do the academy. Like, fair enough to turn around and go, look, I'm dialect, I don't need to do the academy. Yeah, fair play, because I will go to the headline main event next week. But if you're up and coming, there's no other... I mean, obviously, you'll get the few, like Georgie Roots, if he beats Hulk or Bobby, he probably will advance 20 steps more than he would anywhere else, because... I
think if he beats Hulk, it probably means... Are they both on Don't Flop?
No, Bobby Rex is on Beast Anglia.
Beast Anglia,
I don't really class on beat as winning battles, because on beat's just sick and that, but it's a completely different world. You know what I mean? I can battle rap like the end goal of this is getting a global fan base and traveling the world and seeing new places. You're only going to get that with eyes on you. So go to the places where eyes are on you. And fortunately enough for us, I mean, if it was Don't Flop, whatever, Don't Flop had the top 8 tournament, that generated a whole new team of sick people. People wouldn't have been asked about Bamalan, Mystery and all them if they would have just tryouts. It was a tournament format people bought into. Sleepy G won the top 8 tournament. I think he lost to one in the final. But there's another one. Like, these were people we invest so much in because you follow the journey. Whereas if you're 4 or 5 battles in and you're doing a battle on Garb, you come into maybe an undisclosed event, you're doing a Don't Flop event, your journey's scattered everywhere.
So I think you got to, like, because for me it's like, you know, people could argue with me and people have said it to me, is like, I've never battled outside of Premier Battles before. I've never battled outside Manchester before. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So for me, the biggest test is I think I've got do you know what I mean? Like at Apex, everyone was like chanting my name. Like I had a fan base, bro, for Premier Battles. Like people in Premier Battles know who I am. But I think a bigger test for me would be to go to like Don't Flop or something and do a battle, because no one in Don't Flop might have never even heard of me. Do you know what I mean? There's probably loads of people that like have like in Premier Battles who know my name and stuff like that, but in Don't Flop they'd be like, oh, who is this guy? Is he a tryout or something? And I feel that might, not saying that's going to be the next step of doing a battle on Don't Flop, but do you know, I think sometimes you have got to try out your different fan bases. So for someone like Crash, who has never been on Premier Battles before, it's one, a perfect opportunity to test yourself, and two, it's another perfect opportunity to just get loads more fans and get the support you need to be flown around the world and
it's
shit.
Similar to like
Bobby, like
it's similar to what I said with. Sorry to interrupt you.
no, it's alright, man.
What you're saying there is what I had this conversation with Visual. So when Visual was in the quarterfinals of the Academy, he was offered Carney for the Broken Revolution 2 card. I'm totally honest, I told him not to do that battle. Not in a sense of like, don't do it, but in a sense of like, I don't think the opponent is right for you. Like you just said, you know, your next step regards to battle-wise is I would advise you to go and do a Don't Flop battle. It is a big audience. They will watch it. Go to Canada. Go to iBattle. Like, take these opportunities. I said to Visual, you 100% need to battle in Ireland, and it's not Premier Battles. Like, you definitely need to do that. So 100% be on Broken Resolutions too. I don't know if Khan is the right opponent. Not to get any bigger, but I said to him, you've just come off a loss against Milky. Khan is a dangerous opponent. If you take a loss in Ireland as well, it knocks you back 10 steps. Battle someone in Ireland, build your fan base up, and you know, someone probably gonna beat, but will keep you on your toes. But to be fair, he done the Carney battle and he smashed it, so it proves that I'm not always right. Like, but I do think that is vital for battle rappers, not just to stay in one league. Like, if you shout me tomorrow and go, bro, Premier Battles, sorry, Don't Flop have messaged me about doing this event. Do with it. Yeah, like, go and do it. But when we set the agency thing up, it wasn't, people got it all twisted. Like, people were like, oh, why do battle rappers need managers? And that, it wasn't managers. Like, the idea was to bring through these academy people like yourself and go, who's next, right? So Don't Flop are offering you Kinnell, or iBattle are offering you Red Flag. We would have gone, Red Flag's a better one. Go and do Red Flag. If Don't Flop would have turned around and gone, right, they're offering you Frankie Fraser, and iBattle are offering Red Flag, I probably would have gone, go and do Frankie Fraser. If you dominate in the UK scene, then go to iBattle. iBattle's not going to go anywhere. That's the way we build stars again. That's what Shotty was so successful at doing, was in the right move at the right time. Like, he had 18 months out, and then he knew it was the right time to come back, and he came back to Tony D at the Ritz. Then he quit again, came back after 4 years to Tay-Rock, which would have been incredible.
His shit for that was phenomenal.
I know, and then obviously the Jojo battle happened, so that Jojo battle was still sick, but it kind of nullified the impact of Shotty coming back. But that's what we need to build to. So sort of going into a last conversation with regards to like things like Don't Flop, as a fan coming into battle rap post Don't Flop era, he was a Don't Flop fan. Does the politics of all that situation that happened affect your thinking now you've been on Premier Battles?
Nah, like, obviously it's like it's obviously hard, because I remember when I did the Bombshell battle, I remember emailing in it, or emailing Don't Flop, and I was like, I think it was and I was like, yo, I've just had my first ever clash. It's not the best, but you know, I'd appreciate you checking it out, and you know, if I could try and get on Don't Flop. Obviously, this is what kind of made me a fan of battle rap. You know, if you could, if you could get me a battle, that'd be amazing. I remember messaging me like, "Yo, nice bars, bro. Literally, man. Yeah, like we're gonna have a tryout tournament soon. I'll email you." And he emailed me, and the tryout tournament I think was in London or wherever it was, and I'd beat Bombshell in it, and I got accepted into the last 16. So I was literally like, at that point, I had a dilemma, because I was like, Don't Flop, I'll probably do more views on this, or stick with the guys who gave me a chance when I was not like nothing, but when I had pretty much no material behind me, and thought, you know what, I'll give this guy a chance in a tournament, or, you know, go and do this, you know, established league. And I thought, well, you know, I don't really want to, not betray, but I thought, one, I don't want to do two battles at the same time. I don't want to be writing for two. And I thought, you know, these guys are giving me a chance. It's a tournament. I'm in here now. Obviously polite enough to her. I was like, yo, obviously this is going on at the moment. And then he was like, yeah, obviously that's like understandable. Shout us again, we'll try and obviously sort you another tryout in the future and stuff like that. And then obviously smashed my next few battles. And I think it was like iKid or whatever hit me up again, was like, yo, you need to come on battle on Don't Flop and stuff like that. We've got like another tryout tournament. I was like, bro, literally, I'm focusing on this. I'm nearly in the final, innit? And then I think after the Dean battle, he like hit me up again and was like, yo, we just want you on Don't Flop. It doesn't have to be like a tryout. We'll get you basically any battle. And me and have spoken it. Like me and I wouldn't say like I'd never met him. Like I met him obviously time ago when I was just a fan, but we're not mates in it. But we're cool. Like I respect her. Like was, you've got to put some respect on Er's name in the sense of like what he made and like kind of where he brought like battle rap to. It probably wouldn't be here if it like wasn't for him. Do you know what I mean? Obviously a few other names that obviously deserve like recognition, but obviously has always been involved. So yeah, I probably will do a Don't Flop battle one day, but I don't think the politics, no, because it's got fuck all to do with me. Like there's a sense of, I would class you as a friend, do you know what I mean? I speak to Shotty and stuff like that. Like, there's people involved in Premier Battles that I'm closer to over Don't Flop. That's almost like there's history there. Do I really want to be kind of, not stabbing you in the back, but you know what I mean? Like, and obviously that's all kind of cool now on that front. So, like me and you speak in it, so I'd run probably any battle by you anyway. That's like, yo, where do you think of this as a business move? And I think this is what's frustrating to a lot of people, because loads of people are asking me like when I'm battling next, and it's like, oh, you need to battle soon. And I was speaking to Raptor at the Shotty gig, and I was literally Raptor understands in it. The established battles understand that you have to wait for the right opportunity. Chilla was the right opportunity to wait for, and now it's waiting for the next opportunity. Do I want to do a bunch of lockdown video battles, or put my name out there to get the content so people remember? I don't feel I have to, innit? I feel I've done enough in the past with you, all the league owners to kind of say, this guy will come and he'll perform really well 3 rounds. We can book him against pretty much not any international, but a big international name, and he'll come and perform. And that's probably just what I wait for, innit? That next opportunity. But I think fans just love a bit of drama in it. Fans love the gossip and that. And realistically, it's got nothing to do. I think not what the issue was, but obviously Tom Quee kind of did all these interviews with everyone, and everyone was kind of like, it was almost just like he said, she said, wasn't it? And don't get me wrong, it was interesting. I remember watching Er's full BRR thing, which was like 2.5, 3 hours long, something mad like that. And I remember listening to it all like, oh, no way this happened, no way that happened. And I remember thinking at the end of it, it's like, this literally doesn't affect my life in any way. Like, if I'll battle wherever, not even if the money's good, but if they treat me well and stuff like that, and they're going to look after me, then like, I think the age we're in, it's never been almost like a Premier Battles versus Don't Flop kind of thing, has it? Like, I've never really got the sense of everyone's fighting for the big names, everyone's fighting for views and stuff like that. Until they turn around and say, we're going to have a Premier Battles versus Don't Flop event, that's the only time I'd ever look at it like we are competing against another league, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think if we did a Don't Flop versus Premier Battles event, I think obviously the marketing strategy, I mean, I'm not fucking hell. Me and her would have to be speaking again for this to even be a consideration. And that's not to say me and her. I've spoken about this so many times, but like I didn't leave Don't Flop because of the Kruger situation. I'd already left Don't Flop.
I remember you telling me about that, of kind of obviously off record, of obviously like kind of why that happened, and kind of that's understandable. And I think it was not the worst time for you to leave, but it was almost looked like it was due to that, innit? But obviously me and you both know obviously it was nothing to do with that situation.
Yeah, cool. Mate, I remember being in work at uni, lad. Callum Martin rang me and he was like, just to let you know, we're all leaving Don't Flop because of this. We found out he's been taking money and all this stuff, which I don't agree with. Kruger's a good mate of mine, Bamalam's a good mate of mine, Bagnall, and all of them are good mates. Rowan at the same time was a good mate of mine. So when it happened, I said, you can ask Callum Martin this yourself. I said to him on the phone, don't class me in that. Like, don't agree with it, but it's not.
That's your lively. That, you know what I mean? Like, that's your thing. Like, just because, and I think this is what it is, and this is what happened with battlers and fans and stuff like that. And I think I remember like Jan saying to me ages ago that like I'd never battle on Don't Flop and stuff like that. And I remember saying to him, I was like, Jan, if offered you a decent name, bro, go and do Don't Flop. Yeah. It's like, oh well, it means too much to my friends. It's like, yo, just speak to them. Like, you would never be like to anyone. Don't Flop are offering me this really good name. Should I turn it down? It's like, oh, nah, did this fucking years ago. No, you'll be betraying me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to understand that Don't Flop is still the most subscribed UK battle rap channel. Do you know what I mean? They have the most subs and they're still getting views. And if you want to, put this thing that didn't affect you in any way as a reason not to go and improve your skills or get more recognized, I think like people are just being a bit stupid, innit? Like, don't get me wrong, you can have loyalty to your friends. I think the people who are a lot closer in that, then fair enough. But Joe Bloggs, who has just fucking watched Tom Quee's interview with Callum Martin or whatever and wants to battle, is like, I'm never battling on Don't Flop because of this. I think it's stupid. Like, it's a league at the end of the day, and it's an established league.
For me, the only person who I've always said should have a genuine reason, but has a right to have a genuine issue, besides the staff that were involved in what went on, and a couple battlers that were around it that sort of got damaged along the way and fell out with, whether it was or Kruger and that. One or two was affected. One or two had their own sort of issues with Rowan or the Don't Flop staff. All this happened, so obviously that just inflamed it all anyway. But besides that, nobody should have an issue. Like, if I fall out, obviously I can understand people like Raptor, Shotty, backing me because they were with me when
they're your people, though, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that you've been mates with them for years. Like,
and bear in mind, I was getting categorized in that same conversation of why everybody left. I was categorized in that, so all they're seeing is my name being brought up in it. So like you say, Tom Quee interview with Rowan was still categorizing me in that conversation. My name still being mentioned as to why that ended. So people who are with me every day are seeing that, and then obviously they're going to get their own opinions on it, saying, foot Don't Flop, foot Rowan, foot da-da-da-da-da, because that's what's being said about me. But outside of that circle, it should never affect anybody. Like,
no, you're absolutely right. No,
like, don't let some bullshit, fucking schoolyard nonsense affect your chance as a battle rapper of going somewhere else. Like, remember with Don't Flop, and people forget Don't Flop and King of the Dot had beef for years.
Yeah.
To the point where King of the Dot stopped bringing out UK battle rappers because they were representing Don't Flop. Like,
that's mad, that.
And battlers were getting involved in it. There was battlers who were doing fucking rounds in London going, oh, fuck King of the Dot. Like, do you not realise you've just eliminated your own chance? Like,
yeah, that's so stupid. Like, why on earth are you jumping on this bandwagon? That, like, because remember, I think it was and Kruger versus Pesci and Bender, wasn't it? Where told King of the Dot to suck his dick or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of was the first kind of public kind of mention of it. But you're absolutely right. Like, bare people then jumped onto this whole Don't Flop versus King of the Dot, thinking it was going to be some mad event, and that was never the case. I think the actual personal reasons were personal between the league owners, obviously, and it had nothing to do with the battlers. And then battlers took it upon themselves to start taking sides, pretty much. So it is what it is. But
what was bred, like, a lot of battlers just thought Don't Flop's crumbling. Where else can I go and battle? I'm going to side with them. I'm not saying that's just us. Like, King of the Ronalds had the big inflate of talent that went over there, and other leagues, a lot of people jumping on. But the reality is, Don't Flop is still the biggest UK battle rap league in terms of subscribers and numbers. I think we're competing in regards to views. We've only got 11,000 subscribers, and we're still pretty much out viewing everyone in our circle. But if I was a battler up and coming, my target would be to get on Don't Flop and Premier Battle.
Sure. Definitely. Those are the main two leagues, really. Like, in the UK, if you're talking UK leagues at the moment, it's like the two ones you want to battle on are Don't Flop and Premier Battles.
So for yourself, I mean, obviously, I want to get you another battle anyway.
We'll do it.
Fucking trying for ages. But I do think whether you do, say, for example, we do the Frankie Fraser battle that I've been trying to get you to do. If we
that was booked, though, innit? The dates weren't just right.
Yeah, for like the fifth time. You need to stop.
It's what it is, man. I like going away, innit?
But I think if we do that battle, if it's not the Frankie battle, I'd love to get you on Premier Battles against someone anyway. And then even if the Don't Flop ones before it, like, definitely do that trip over to that league, because at the end of the day, all that's going to do is inflate your fan base, let people go. It's not just the Premier Battles pony. Which anyway, but obviously people are saying...
No, I don't think a lot of people did say that, but it doesn't really get brought up like you've only battled in here. At the end of the day, it's like, I did a tournament in it. Like, where else? The people go on about the opponents, and it's like, I could only beat what was in front of me, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't decide who I was battling and stuff like that, but I think the main one is like, I'd happily do a don't flop battle, but I'd say the exact same to her as what I say to you loads of times, which is either... I don't really feel right now is the right time to do a battle, or does the name interest me? And that's what it is. And it's not even, I wouldn't take just any name on Don't Flop just because it's Don't Flop. Now, I've like I said, it's you've got to look at it like it's my first battle after the Chilla clash and that. It's not like I'm thinking too deep into it, but it's either got to be on par with that or something that's going to test me or level me up even more, do you know what I mean? But I think battlers are very, very quick to just bite the hand that feeds them a little bit. Like, they'll cuss her out now, cuss Premier Battles out, but if Premier Battles was to get 100k in the next 2 months, they'd be messaging you saying, "Can I get on your league?" And it's like, the thing is, people won't forget in it. And
mate, do you know how many battlers I've seen foot Premier Battles as soon as we announced Shotty vs Tay-Rock? We're fucking following us on everything, liking everything. Like, yeah,
it's stupid. Like, as much as this isn't like, you don't have to look at it like it's a business. Like, it is just you just fucking insulting another person. Do you know what I mean? And making it rhyme. But there is some, you've got to have some sort of like, not a business strategy, but just a bit of like like sense around you. Like, why would you just publicly go on? Like, I've always remained neutral with everything. Like, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, Don't Flop could get 5 mil or whatever, and it's like, I'll come and battle on your league because, you know, I'm cool with them. But start insulting them and it's just not going to happen, man, is it? Like,
so I mean, just for a wrap up, going back to what we were saying about if a Don't Flop versus Premier Battles event happened, I wouldn't want it to be, obviously we would mark it as Premier Battles versus Don't Flop. This is We'd obviously do the press conferences and all that shit, but I think the battlers would have to understand, if you're on Team Premier Battles or Team Don't Flop, it doesn't mean it's a fuck the other team. It's just you've been chosen on this card to represent at that specific time.
It's fuck that other team until the battle's done, I think. I think, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the whole Team UK versus USA on Apex, it was fuck USA during the day, wasn't it? But that wasn't to say if Chilla said, "Oh, Mage, you want to battle in America?" I'd be like, "Oh, no, fuck Team USA. I'm only battling fucking Blighty." Like, come on.
Because I wouldn't want it to be like this. This is why these league matchups are kind of difficult, because I would say, let's just use you, for example. If I went, right, I want Major on Team Premier Battles.
Definitely.
I wouldn't ever expect you after that to go, I'm not battling for Don't Flop. Fuck them. I'm Team PB.
Imagine, mate. I'd be like, yo, like, fucking paying me 10 grand. Like.
Oh, serious. So, yeah, definitely advise you go and do that. It'd be good.
I would. I think Don't Flop will be a pretty much like, it's Premier Battles like all day in it. Like, it's one of them, like, I'd never not battle for you guys. Don't Flop's one I definitely want to do. And then pretty much I battle in King of the Dot. And then I think after I've done those, I'll be pretty much content with not calling it a day, but being like, I'll just battle as and when, do you know what I mean? Because I'll be honest with you, Briggs, I'm not trying to be the best in the world. I'm not trying to be champion. I don't want to be champion. I just want to do shit that's fun. And it'd be dope to go to another country and do it. Or even another city, innit? Like, battle in London, I've not done that yet. So for me, it's just the travelling aspect of it. But hopefully that'll happen, man.
Just before we wrap up, mate, last couple of questions that I've asked everyone.
For sure.
Where do you sort of see yourself in UK battle rap? Like, if you can pick 2 names on either, so if you're in the middle, you've got a name on either side of you, what's your bracket? Who do you think you would comfortably be battling with?
That's so hard because I don't know. It's like it's hard because if you talk about the Chilla battle in it, it's like technically I believe I beat him in it. People would say otherwise. There's people that I know think I beat him. Then I've arguably just beat one of the best in the world. You know what I mean? Fair enough for people to say it's a one-rounder, but Chilla Jones is one of the best in the world. So that doesn't then mean say I could beat fucking Disaster and stuff like that. But I do think if you booked me versus, for example, Shocks, I don't think I'd look out of place, put it that way. Don't think...
That's what I'm trying to ask. So where would you sort of see you looking? And this isn't where you think the fans, this is where you think you would be comfortable.
I don't know, man. I think the next step I'd only do is top tier pretty much now. Like, I do mid-tier, but I do mid-tier battles, don't get me wrong, but...
Has to be high, mid-tier.
Like, yeah, I think it's just... It'd be... Don't get me wrong, if I went against a top tier name, right? Shocks, fucking Raptor, any of those names, and they fucking bodied me 3-0 and I fucking didn't even get a bar, then maybe I'd re-look at myself and think, okay, here's the situation, I'm not good enough to this. But at the moment, with the streak I'm on, there's no way I'm going to be like just fucking pussyfooting around it and being like, yeah, there's no point me facing those names, they're going to beat me. I'd prefer to do the battle and get beat, innit? I'd prefer to battle Shocks and him smoke my boots than to fucking just battle some mid-tier that I might beat, and then it's like, well, what have I proved? I've not proved anything, man. So it's hard to pick like two names, you know what I mean? But like I said, I don't think booking me versus like the names like Shocks, Soul, all those would mean I'd be out of place. I'm not saying I'd win. That's not to say I'd beat those guys, but I don't think it would be a bad battle in it.
Right, so I'll tell you what I'll do then. I'll throw a couple names at you.
Right.
You tell me if you think you're above him, below him, or on par with. So, for example,
I'm just going to be so neutral here. Like, but
if I said, for example, you and Loaded Lux, it wouldn't make sense right now. So
because I'd kill him.
Fuck off. You probably would battle-wise. So let's speak. Right, so Shocks.
On par with Shocks, I reckon.
Okay.
Punch count. If we're comparing punches, I think it would be a dope battle. I think probably on either of our days, because recently a lot of Shocks' performance haven't been amazing. Like if we're talking me versus Chilla performance versus him versus Ilmac performance, I win that battle.
We're talking 8. So this is you at A1. So if you was A1.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm on par with Shocks.
Crafty.
I don't really watch too much of his battles. Probably he might be probably on par with me as well. Like it's hard with two completely different battlers. I wouldn't like to say he's below me because Kraft has been like he just beat Yunnan in it, and I'd probably say I'm on par with Yunnan. So yeah, we've got to say on par with Kraft.
Hulk.
Probably on par with Hulk as well.
Nah,
it's hard because I don't think I'm above Hulk in it. Like I think me versus Hulk would be a good battle, and that's just I don't think I'm better than Hulk. I don't think I'm worse than him either. I think it would be a battle that it just comes down to in it. Like
So I see what you're saying.
Because it's one of them. If we're talking A1 me, which is my writing is very good, performance-wise, Hulk probably edges me on performance, but that doesn't, on my day, like versus I'm fucking killing shit and he's killing shit too, it'd be an amazing battle, and I think it'd be like, okay, well, that was neck and neck. I can't see it being, to me, the above me, or I'm below them, or I'm above them, sorry, if I think I will body them, or I think they'll body me. That's the way I look at it.
All right, so LS Dean.
Me and Dean are on par, really, innit? Well, now technically he's above me. He beat me, innit? So technically Dean is above me, and Dean's above Shocks and Crafty and all these other guys. Then, but
LS Dean said if he battled you again, he still thinks he would beat you.
Yeah, he probably I'm not saying he probably would because I feel I won that battle without the stumble in the third. But that's another argument. Like I feel if I didn't stumble in the third, then I won that battle. But
what want people to do is watch this and go, yeah.
He thinks I know you fucking what you're doing, and I'm not gonna fucking fall for it, man. People in my inbox, Major's just said this. He thinks he's so big now because he battled shit. I fucking hate it, man. I'm so humble. I'm just like I don't want any of this fucking people coming at me, man. Like,
right, last question then. So, when are we gonna see Major Concerns back?
Definitely after lockdown, man. Definitely after lockdown. We've got to lock something in.
Okay, and if
it's just got to be the right thing. Like I said, if we could do the Shocks battle in it, see if what Shocks is saying and stuff. Me versus Shocks would just be an absolute punch fest. Me versus Frank still needs to go down, so we'll definitely do that before I ever do like my last battle, which I'd never be one of those guys to say I'm quitting battle rap. I think that's stupid. It's just a fucking hobby in it, but. That would be probably a battle I want to do before, my last battle. I don't know, whenever, man. Like,
I think you and Frank has to be a small room battle. It'd be nice to do that at some point this year, just on like an undisclosed, like a Fiddler's Elbow or.
Yeah, that would be dope. I think Frank is better in the pit than he is on stage. I think I can do either, but I'd probably prefer me versus. If it's going to get the best out of Frank, then I'd prefer to just do it in the pit.
I just think that's one of them battles. These certain like Old English and Soul, like these certain battles that are just better with a smaller crowd.
Yeah,
I think you and Frank would just. It's a great headliner for a small, cheap event where we can ram the room out.
Yeah,
but we'd just be there just to see battle rap. No gimmicks. And then obviously on a big stage, I'd love to, you and Shocks would be a good battle.
It'd be dope. I think a lot of people might think that's a crazy take, though, looking at like me on par with Shocks. But if we're talking both on our A game and both how we can write and punch, I don't think that's a crazy take to look at. Don't get me wrong. I think Shocks has had better performances than me. I think that's fair to say, and I think most people would say Shocks would 3-0 me, which I'm fine with people saying that, but I just don't think I'd get bodied by him, and I think I could test him. So that's why I'm always going to say like we're on par in it. Like,
Still class yourself as a rookie?
Would I class myself as a rookie? No, definitely not, man. Not anymore. Like maybe like the year before last year, like even after maybe during the Chilla battle, I'd probably still say I'm a newcomer, but I'm not now. There's too many. There's now newcomers for me. Visual is the newcomer that people should be talking about. Like I've done my shit. Do you know what I mean? I've done the academy, and I've done 2 battles after that. Like I don't need to I'd hate to kind of hide behind, oh well, I'm just new and I'm still learning and stuff. Yeah. If we're talking like overall battles, I've still had less than 10 battles, so you could class me as like, yeah, he's a newer battler, but I wouldn't class myself as a rookie now because I don't feel out of place on the stage anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like you can put me on any card now, and it wouldn't be weird to see me on there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. Right, well, it's been a good chat, this, mate.
Has it been long?
Yeah, quite a long one, about 1 hour and 45, I think.
Fucking hell, mate. We've chatted on, haven't we?
Mate, it's been good to chat to you. Fucking mate.
Yeah, you too as well, mate. Thanks for having me on.
From your battles, make sure you click subscribe, leave a comment below who you want me to talk to next, and should I book Major Concerns versus Shocks?
Keep on. I've been waking at 10 missed calls. Another email that I ain't replied to. Another day comes with another stress, and I can't keep up if I try to. Man, it always goes wrong when I try to make right, and I'm always on the grind every day of my life. Man, I'm trying to turn a penny to a million, but I ain't ever paid no price. I don't know about the sacrifice, the lack of sleep, the writer's block, the lack of pee, the lost looks, the fake friends, and the same cycle to the day ends. Man, it's all the same. Fuck a snake, if my line don't ring, I don't want it to. So don't tell my line if you want to, cause I ain't got shit that I want for. See, I ain't got no time for you. Don't call me, there's no line for you. Don't tell me what you're trying to do, cause I ain't got time for you. There ain't no line for you, I ain't got time for you. See, I ain't got